What's up, Sugar Bush? So I think we may make this like a weekly thing or maybe like a bi-weekly thing, but we're just gonna do a little mental health check-in, and I'm gonna say it's for you guys, but it's actually for me, and that is a good way that I don't have to internally face my own problems, and I can. Because if I say it's for me, then I'm not going to do it. Because I have the least consideration for my own well-being, but I do care about you guys a lot, so it's easier to say it's for you and then kind of like air my shit out there too, you know what I'm saying? But how's everybody doing? I know it's been an absolute bonkers how many days has it been of 2021? 7 days of 2021. Shit is bananas. We're not going to talk about that though, because not going to get political on this page. If you come to my TikTok lives or whatever, you know where I stand on everything, but you know, we're going to keep that off this YouTube channel. And speaking of TikTok live, I have been so bored at work since I have gotten banned from TikTok Live. I feel lost without. I genuinely missed talking to you guys. I did try to go live on Instagram, but like nobody showed up because Instagram doesn't send notifications to anybody like TikTok does. But it's whatever. I'm not tripping over it. So how's everybody feeling mentally? You know, I know we have like a venting and support channel on the Discord server. I get overwhelmed very easily with stuff, so like I'm not on the Discord server a lot. I do talk to my counsel, but you know, other than that, I do. So don't get me wrong, I do lurk all the time. I watch you guys, but I just sometimes don't partake. So I'm like, it's just, I don't know, man. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say, but I've just been trying really hard not to be sad all the time, and I don't know why I feel that way. I feel just my neutral. My default feeling is sad, and I don't know why. It's I know lately it's because I've been really struggling with imposter syndrome, and I just don't feel like I deserve everything I have right now. I don't feel like I deserve the platform that I have. I don't feel like I deserve the love from you guys, the gifts you send me, stuff like that. You know, I'm the first to tell you, growing up, I wasn't that good of a person. I was kind of an asshole, and I had really disgusting outlooks on the world and disgusting views about things and stuff like that. And then when I grew up and got into my 20s, like, you know, you're supposed to do, I educated myself and turned myself into the person I am today. Don't get me wrong, I always stood up for those that couldn't stand up for themselves, but I still just, like, even then, I just didn't see myself as a very good person. So I have this big problem with, like, you know, I have this big problem with telling myself, like, hey, that's not who you are anymore. You are, like, working on being a decent person. My philosophy is, as long as you put more good in the world than you do bad, you'll be okay. And it's essentially what I'm trying to do, and I'm trying to use my platform and such to put more good in the world than bad. But I still have this, like, internal voice telling me, like, you don't deserve any of this, like, you know, you're like not a good person, this, that, and the other. And it's hard to, you know, block that out because it's your internal voice. So even if you don't want to listen to it, you're going to have to listen to it eventually. And I've been trying very hard to, like, think of myself in a better light and, like, try to, like, kind of push myself away from those sad thoughts. God, I mean, imagine if I ever do get big enough to where I can make money off doing all this, I'll probably have to go see a doctor at some point. I did try to get help from the VA, because if you don't know, I am a veteran. And I did try to get help from the VA and stuff like that, and, you know, get disability payments as well as being able to go see doctors and such. And that was like a year or so ago, and I don't know, maybe it was because it was right before the pandemic that I did everything, or like a couple months before the pandemic or something. Well, no. It was about a year before the pandemic happened, and then when, you know, I never got anything in the mail, I never got an email or anything like that. I tried to email my VSO and he never emailed me back. So I was just like, you know, maybe it's not meant to be, because it's really hard to try to get any kind of disability or help from the VA. So I don't know, maybe it's just like, hey, I should work my ass off doing this until I can profit a great deal from it. What are you doing, weirdo? All right. For profit from it, and you know, pay for my own medical bills and such and stuff like that. But it's just really hard to not be in that constant mindset of, like, you know, you should be doing more, you should be further than you are right now, like why are you so sad? Like I wish I started doing YouTube and stuff like that years ago, but you know, better late than never, I suppose. And I'm trying very hard to tell myself, like, hey, you know, it's okay to be sad, but like depression and sadness is not where we build a home. It's more so like a place. I'm trying to make it a place that used to be a home but doesn't feel like home anymore. It's not where we establish ourselves. It's just a temporary stop on our life's journey, and it's okay to visit. Like I said, it's, you know, it's that town that feels like home, but it's not home anymore, and it's okay to visit, but it's not okay to stay there, because it doesn't, there's not anything there for you anymore. And I try to look at it like that. It's just hard to, because I don't know, man. I don't know why my brain does what it does and why my brain tells me, hey, it's time to be fucking sad. It could be a whole slew of things. I don't know. Maybe it's one thing that just, fuck, dude. I don't know, man. I'm not a doctor. Have no clue. So, but I did hit 200,000 followers on TikTok, and that made me really happy. And we've almost got 2,000 subscribers on YouTube, so that's awesome. It's so weird because I didn't start making content until, God, probably February or March, something like that. God dang, I was going through my old screenshots on my phone because I knew I screenshotted when I first started TikTok, which was like back in April. And I started my TikTok in 2019. I didn't post anything because I didn't like TikTok, and then finally I started posting around April, and that's when I had 100 followers, and it's been less than a year, and now we're at 200,000, so that's great, and I thank you guys so much for that. Also, it's like hard when I'm like feel this way all the time. It's hard to make content. It's hard to motivate myself enough to get out there and, you know, make content. I want to start a true crime podcast, and I want to start a true crime podcast. But I'm also scared that, like, I won't put the time in. I know I'll put the time in to do it. I'm just scared that it will not be as good as it could be because I feel this way all the time. So I guess the goal is, to get really, you know, make a lot of money from my content so I can actually go to the doctor and figure out what is wrong with me. But like I said, it's been incredibly boring not being able to go live on TikTok while I'm at work. But, I guess it's kind of good because it's forcing me to sit down and do my notes for the podcast, do my notes for the upcoming true crime video. Like I said, this weekend I'll be at my parents' house, so we may do a mukbang just so I don't have to bring all of my makeup stuff with me because I'm already bringing my podcast board and everything because me and Goose have to film or record while I'm over the phone while I'm at my parents' house. But I'm slowly trying to work on, you know, telling myself that I have to get up and do these things. I have to, you know, I have to put in the hard work, and I have to put in just work in general if I want to make, you know, this a career, because this is what I want to do with my life. I want to be an entertainer. I want to entertain you guys. I want to help as many people as I can, and I have to work my ass off to do that, which, again, is hard when I feel like this all the time. I was listening to My Favorite Murder, and they were talking about how one of their therapists told them, like, when you experience when you experience some kind of trauma and you're in your head, you're like, okay, this is what we need to do to deal with this trauma because this is what we did last time we had this kind of trauma or just trauma in general, and it worked for us. And they were talking about how that voice inside your head is a young trauma voice. You know, you've grown up and you've learned these new coping mechanisms, and you've learned how to deal with certain things in a somewhat healthy manner. But that voice inside your head hasn't grown up. It's still the same voice from when you were dealing with these things, when you didn't know how to cope with them, or you didn't know how to face them like you do now. So every time you experience some new sort of trauma in your life, every little coping voice in your head that has been there from past trauma experiences is like trying to grab the mic and tell you this is what you need to do. But in reality, you're much older now, and you're older now, and you know how to deal with things in a somewhat healthy manner, or you're working on that. And I think about that a lot when I'm dealing with stuff like this. Is like, you know, I'm not the same person I used to be. I know how to deal with this, and I can deal with this in a healthy manner, and I need to deal with this in a healthy manner, because if I don't, like everything, you know, my work, my content, and everything's gonna suffer, and you know, nobody needs that right now. But yeah, I think I'm gonna make this, you know, either a weekly or a bi-weekly thing where I can just post this video and you guys can tell me how you're feeling in the comments. You know, how is your week going? How is your day going? You know, I know these are very weird times. It feels like the world's never going to get back to the way it was, because it's like one crazy thing after the other just keeps happening. But I mean, we've got each other, and we're all here for each other. So I figured I might as well use this platform to kind of promote that idea that we are here for each other, and I'm here for you, even though, you know, I'm very busy and I suck at responding. But I do think about you guys a lot, and I do hope the very best for you. But let me know if you would like to, you know, do more of these, kind of like maybe just start like a little vlog playlist to where I just talk about day-to-day stuff, kind of stepping away from our true crime. We're still going to do our true crime and stuff like that, but maybe doing something like this where we can just talk and we can talk about our day, or I can tell you about my day, you can tell me about your day in the comments, what's going on, how are you feeling, this, that, and the other. And just make a separate playlist for it, because like I said, I do want to make more content for YouTube, and not just have it strictly true crime. But this is something I'm going to start doing either weekly or every other week, is doing a little mental health check-in, because these are fucking, like I said, very, very weird times we are living in, you know what I'm saying? And I also want to promote the idea that, especially here on my page and on my other social medias, that I very much want to normalize, you know, talking about your mental health with other people, knowing that just because you believe that, you know, nobody wants to hear what's going on with you, or you don't think it's worth telling anybody that you should. It's good to talk about these things. It's good to kind of just, even if it's just screaming to the void, just talk about it. Feeling the way I feel all the time, and feeling the way maybe some of you guys feel all the time, is completely normal. It happens, and it's all about working towards bettering ourselves mentally and physically. And it just really needs to be a normal thing to talk about this, because there's, especially with men, you know, you don't talk about your problems, you don't talk about your feelings, you don't talk about your mental health, and that's bullshit. That's absolutely bullshit. Men, just anybody talking about their mental health, you know, people like doing things like crying, venting to somebody, understanding that you're not alone needs to be normalized, because no one in their right mind should have to go through their entire life bottling up their emotions and thinking that that's the way it should be, is that you bottle everything up and you just don't deal with it, or you deal with it internally, because no one in their right mind, no matter who you ask, not a single person has ever made it through life on their own. They've always had someone there to help them. They've always had someone there to listen, and that's what we should be for each other, someone there to listen. It's our job as human beings to, you know, rely on each other, and that doesn't have to be rely on each other for physical things more so, but rely on each other to listen and talk to each other. Like I said, I hate the stigma that, you know, as a man, I shouldn't be talking about my problems, or I shouldn't cry, or this, that, and the other, because why am I supposed to put my mental health at risk because someone deemed it unmanly or unmasculine to talk about your problems or cry? That's fucking stupid to me. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. And, you know, I was raised the same way, you know, that we don't show our feelings, that we, you know, bottle up because it's none of your fucking business, this, that, and the other. And as I got older, and as I, you know, educated myself on stuff like that, I learned that that's the dumbest thing you can do, because that's what leads to, you know, people committing suicide and things of that nature, because they feel like they don't have anyone to talk to, or they feel like they're burdening somebody. You know, I tell my friends, my close friends in real life, like, you can call me any time of the day, anytime you want to talk about anything you want, because I would much rather lose sleep or sit on the phone with you for 3 hours or however long it takes and listen to your problems and listen to what's going on in your life, even if I don't have any kind of resources or, you know, advice to help you. I would still rather sit there and listen to you than have to hear about, you know, your passing or something of that nature. Which also brings me to a point, you know, whenever someone's telling you about your problems, I'm the kind of person, whenever someone comes to me with a problem or something of that nature, I'm really quick to try to fix it. I want to give them suggestions to fix it. I want to do what I can to help them fix this problem. And it took me a long time to understand that sometimes people don't need you to fix their problems. They just need you to sit there and listen to them and say, you know, that sucks, dude. I'm sorry. I'm here for you though. And that is like something I have a hard time doing, because, you know, as the person I am, I always want to do something to fix someone's problem, or I want to give them some kind of advice to fix it, or this, that, and the other, when really sometimes they don't want your advice and they don't need your advice. They just need someone to sit down and listen to them. So keep that in mind whenever you are listening to somebody tell you about their problems and such. And also, I saw a post the other day that was talking about, you know, whenever we're talking about deep issues or, you know, just like some life experiences with each other, and I'm like, oh, well, you know, I went through this that's very similar to the situation you're going through. It's not me trying to bring the conversation to me. It's not me trying to talk about myself. It's me telling you, I went through this similar experience and this is how I handle it and this is how I dealt with it emotionally and physically and such. So maybe, you know, maybe that'll help you. It's me trying to relate to you in a sense of I know what you're going through and it sucks, but it's going to be okay because I'm okay. It's not me trying to make the conversation all about me, which is something that I feel like is very important for people to know because I often find myself when someone's telling me about their problems, I'm like, oh, well, you know, this was what happened to me, this, that, and the other, and part of me feels like, you know, I feel like I'm bringing the conversation to me and I'm talking about just myself. I feel like, bless you, I feel like I'm like, oh, it's all about me, talking about me, but like I said, when in reality, it's just me trying to let them know that I understand what they're going through, and so on and so forth, which is something I thought I'd share with you guys. Hi, baby. Oh, I know, little little chunky chunk. But yeah, I really think this is a good idea that we start doing this and talking about our problems and such. Kind of doing like a little vlog style, like I said, once a week or every other week. Or if there's anything else you guys want to talk about, leave it down in the comments and we will talk about it. You know, I'm not an expert on any of these issues, but I've been through some shit, so I would like to share those experiences with you and things of that nature. You know, dealing with trauma, how I deal with trauma. Like I said, I'm not an expert or anything like that, but I feel like it's good to just normalize talking about it. It's something that's not normalized, especially in the realm of masculinity and men. It's definitely not normalized talking about your problems. It's not normalized talking about your trauma, and that's what leads to, you know, people, one, feeling the way I feel, where I just feel sad all the time because this trauma went unaddressed for almost 20 years, or not 20 years, but it went unaddressed for a very long time, and it manifested itself into a whole different demon. But I feel like this will be good for me, and maybe it'll be good for you. And if you have like a specific topic you want to talk about or you want me to talk about, leave it down in the comments below and we'll definitely get to it. This will help me keep up with more content that's not just strictly true crime, which is something that I've been wanting to do. But thank you so much for everything. Thank you for the 200,000 followers on TikTok. The support means the absolute world to me. You know, when I'm really down and kind of kicking the shit out of myself, I know I can think about you guys and think about everybody who does care about me and really does like what I do. And it means more than you know. It saves my life from time to time. You have no idea. But I will see you guys again in a couple days for the crime and maybe mukbang and murder. And then I will see you guys again maybe next week for another little one-on-one vlogging session. Let's talk about it. I don't know what to name these things, so the name may change from time to time. So bear with me on that. Unless you've got some stellar name suggestions, drop them in the comments. But I love you guys so much, and thank you for everything you do for me. It means the absolute world to me, and I don't know if I'll ever be able to repay you. I really hope I do get bigger to where I can actually go on tour and meet you guys and actually talk to you one-on-one, face-to-face. That would be amazing. But we're going to work on that. We're going to work on getting there. And I hope you guys have the best day ever and all the good things happen to you. Remember that you're not alone. There's always someone there to talk to you. There's always going to be someone there that cares for you. And it's okay to talk about it. Don't ever think you're burdening your friends, because if they're really your friends, they'd rather listen to your problems than hear about your passing. You know what I'm saying? But normalize talking about it. Normalize asking for help and getting help when you need it. But I will see you guys in a couple days, and I will see you guys next week. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble on about my problems and my feelings. I know you guys don't mind, but I still feel like I have to apologize. But I will see you guys soon. I love you so much. I hope you have the best day ever and all the good things happen to you. I know times are crazy right now, but it's going to be okay. And if you need help, please reach out to somebody. And please be kind to others, but most of all, please, please, please be kind to yourself. I will see you guys soon. Bye-bye.